My name is Suzanne Benoit. I'm the oldest of the three. I just turned 65, and for my birthday, I got myself Medicare. Now top that.
I'm Suzanne's brother Michael. We have another brother Hank who's in the business. The three of us have owned the Vortex since 1992, and I was 12 when we opened this bar. Neither one of us had any background in the business. We'd never worked restaurants, bars, nothing. So it was just, that was the business plan. Seems like it'd be fun. Why don't we do it?
That was the business plan. But we didn't really know that my brother Hank always wanted to own a bar.
Yeah, that was the thing.
He used to drink in bars, but we didn't know he wanted to have one. So in November of '91, they start calling me because we all lived in Los Angeles. We have an idea. Would you like to be a part of it? I packed up my truck, stopped in Vegas on the way to see my mom and dad who lived there then, and made the trek to Atlanta. We rented a house in North Druid Hills area. We found a location on the corner of West Peachtree and 11th, and that was the start of the Vortex.
Yeah, so, I mean, we thought we'll all live together, we'll pool all our resources, we'll be the staff of the bar, so we're going to keep all our expenses as absolutely low as possible, and if we can't make it work, then we shouldn't be in the bar business. So fortunately, it did all work out, and it was a lot of hard work and a lot of long hours.
It was scary fun, if you know what that means. It was scary fun. We worked our tails off. We did everything in the restaurant. We did the managing, the seating, the bartending, the expediting in the kitchen, even washing dishes. We did it all. What a better way to learn.
I even, in a couple of times in a pinch, I was down in that kitchen working the cold side, which, talk about stressful. I don't know how they do it a lot of times in these kitchens. That's a stressful job. But we've done it all. I mean, and even to the, we would all the janitorial duties, all the vomit remediation, all, you name it, we handled it. Now, we have staffs, we have managers, we have full staffs of the kids working for us, and I think they appreciate the fact once they know that we're not just some rich people who opened a bar. We were actually poor people who opened a bar.
We are on premise. Yes, we still are after 23 years. I don't come in quite as often. I come in 2 to 3 days a week, but that doesn't mean that when I'm home I'm not working. I'm filling orders online, I'm preparing orders to bring in, I'm dealing with paperwork with banks and insurance companies and what have you. He's here every day and my other brother is here every day. So we are totally hands-on owners.
And it makes a difference.
It does.
It absolutely makes a difference because we have great people working for us. I love all the kids that work for us. That being said, no one quite cares about things like an owner cares about things. In the early days, we had no money. We had put every penny that we had into the business. And so anytime anything came up, anytime like an inspector came in and said, well, you really need to do this here, you need to do it, we'd think, where are we going to get that money? We don't have that money. And it was that way for a little while.
Oh, yes, it was.
In the beginning, because, and quite frankly, we were able to open the Vortex in Atlanta in 1992 on a shoestring.
In the early days, even in the first 6 years of our original location, we had to set rules, and you have to do that in order to make your restaurant run properly, even if it's rules with staff or rules with customers. And we had a rule where if you came in to buy a pitcher of beer, everyone had to have an ID. Oh my God, you have to remember, we have never done this before, but we did have common sense. Well, this table of 3 did not like that rule because one of them didn't have ID. And the next morning when we came to work, there were 3 bricks thrown through our windows. I was very upset and very nervous about that. That really bothered me that a customer would do that to us. This guy will get the windows fixed.
Yeah, you do what you have to do.
You do what you have to do.
While most people are super cool and nice and we have fun with, every now and then you run into people with with a big chip on their shoulder when they walk in the door. We kind of make it in your face because our feeling is if you don't like what we're doing here, by all means, don't come here.
We never went to culinary school. We never did any of the stuff that a lot of people think that they need. I remember when my parents were visiting us, and they were very supportive of what we were doing, even though they never drank or smoked. I say to my dad, "Dad, I've never bartended before. I'm going to have to go to bartending school." And my father said, "You will get behind that bar, and you will bartend." "Okay, Dad," and I did. And even though I was afraid, I knew how to open a bottle of beer, a can of beer, I knew how to pour wine. When it came to the recipes, I always turned it to the customer. "Well, I know how I like mine made. How do you like yours made?" That was my education. I was self-taught.
Bartending is absolutely a learn by doing thing, and what we've found being in this business now for all this time is that usually anybody who walks into a bar and says, "Well, I went to bartending school," they are soundly mocked by the rest of the staff at a bar. Bartending school is not a thing that nobody's impressed.
No, you can learn how to pour drinks. You don't necessarily know how to handle the crowd. Our education came from hands-on.
Working the floor. I mean, that was it. And
That's right.
And it's part of the thing, too, that I think part of the reason we became successful so early on is because it was authentic. It was us. It was the three siblings opened a bar and they're running it. And that was it.
And you could tell. You could really tell. We used to, in our little itty-bitty 1,500 square foot location, our bar was 3 deep at night. It was.
All the time. And that happened pretty quickly.
Yes, it did.
You know, it was a different place and time, obviously, but we were fortunate in that we became a pretty popular location pretty early on, and that helped, you know, pay all the debt we went into.
That's right.
The fact of the matter is, though, the business was built by word of mouth. You know, by people coming in and enjoying what we do and enjoying interacting with us. I mean, don't think for a minute that the three of our personalities didn't have something to do with people enjoying coming into the bar, because it certainly did.
Don't be afraid of not having any money. It's not the worst thing. You learn to be creative. For instance, back then, the Creative Loafing newspaper used to have a middle section that mentioned all of the places where you could go and hear free live music. Well, and you didn't have to pay for that. Well, that's right up our alley. So we would have one of our cooks come up and play his guitar in the dining room. He was awful, but that wasn't the point. The point was our name was now in a local newspaper, in print.
Business is business, you know? And the bottom line is if we make a decision, and these days it's usually unanimous anyway, but if we ever make a decision where one person's saying, "Well, go ahead, I don't agree," if it doesn't work out, then we change it. You know, it's not ego. There's no egos involved in this. We're trying to do what's best for the business and best for the customers, and you know, that's the ultimate goal.
Well, you know, that's interesting you should say that. Ego sometimes negates everything. Ego gets in the way of everything. You just can't have that much of an ego. Now we have an ego to the point where when I go someplace and I say I own the Vortex and somebody says, "Oh my God, I love that place," well, that makes me feel good. I don't know if that's egotistical or not, but it sure makes me feel good.
Yeah, it's nice to know. We obviously know we have a big fan base just based on the amount of hamburgers that come out of this kitchen.
Absolutely.
There's no denying that.
One thing that we do work on together, we change up our menu. You know, everybody gets so comfortable. Well, our burgers are terrific and everything else is good. Let's just leave it at that. We change our menu, we change our liquor, we change things
keep it fresh.
up.
We try to keep
You have to stay on top of things.
I mean, to a certain degree. Sometimes, though, and that's finding the balance. because sometimes we change something or take something off the menu, and then all the tears start. I can't believe you took that off the menu. I love that. So that's always a balance. The fact is, we're hands-on, and we try to relate to what people tell us, what our fans tell us. We're always, interested in that, and we talk to the kids. The kids now, everybody who works for us, our children.
We love our kids too.
Yeah, and I mean, because we come from a family where our father was very much an entrepreneur, anytime anybody that works for us tells me an interest that they have, I am super supportive of, you know what, you need to pursue that. And I try to give them avenues within our little business to pursue certain things. If someone's a writer or an artist, I'm like, how can we utilize that? Let's figure out something you can do to be a little more creative at your job, And so we've had several people that have worked here and gone on to open their own places.
That's right.
I think that's wonderful.
That's absolutely right. On the other hand, we do have people that have been with us. We've got a guy who's still our prep cook. He's been with us for 21 years. 21 years. Our bartender here, Carla, the daytime bartender, I think she's been here 18 years. I just like to hope that we can provide people with incentive and a lust for life, and knowing that this still can be done. It can be done. Don't get stagnant, because you can turn out to be a neighborhood bar. We've had several of them in town, the neighborhood bars, where they don't change up anything. You have to change with the times. It's hard for me, but I do it. I personally would say, don't listen to the naysayers. If you have a dream, as long as you pursue every avenue to fulfill that dream, don't listen to the naysayers. Although it's good for naysayers to bring things up that maybe you haven't thought about, don't say, you know what, they're right, I'm not going to be able to do this. You can do this.
You can do anything you set your mind to, and that's the important thing, is don't listen to the naysayers, because there's always somebody out there who wants to tell you you can't do what you want to do. It's not realistic for whatever reasons. As far as I know, this is not a dress rehearsal. I think you should live your life, and if you have an idea that you want to do something, try it. As far as I know, debtor's prison doesn't exist anymore. The downside is minimal. If something doesn't work out, you'll learn from the experience, and then you can try again or try something else. I think it's just getting over the fear. A lot of people are just afraid to quit that full-time job, or they're afraid. I mean, fear is really the thing that stops people from pursuing their dreams, and so fuck fear, as a friend of mine often says.
That's right.
That's the bottom line. At the Vortex Midtown, down the hallway and past the bathrooms, is the world's smallest full-time comedy club. It's called the Laughing Skull Lounge, and that's been in operation for 7 years now. And that adds an interesting aspect to the Midtown location. We had the space, and we just wanted to do something in there that would complement what we do at the Vortex, and a tiny comedy club seemed to fit perfectly. And it's a lot of fun. They get a lot of well-known comics through there. It's an intimate venue. It seats 74 people, so there's not a bad seat in the house.
That space sat empty for about a year, and then we got hooked up with Marshall Childs, and he runs the Laughing Skull Lounge. And we do have big names. We've had Ron White, Margaret Cho.
A lot of big names, actually,
Yes.
and then they also do an open mic night. It's Tuesday and Wednesday is open mic with a lot of local comics, and then usually Thursday through Sunday is a featured act with opening comedians as well. It's a good time. It's another good time. But they also don't allow idiots in there either. With the idiot-free zone, which we're known for, extends to the Laughing Skull Lounge. We have recently started Vortex Radio, which is actually a podcast that focuses on the bar and restaurant culture in the city of Atlanta and in general. Once a month, my sister comes on as my co-host. Our plan is to actually start doing those episodes live in the Laughing Skull Lounge. We're actually actually building the website right now, which I believe is vortexradioatl.com. That's where people will be able to go and find out all the information about the podcast, where you can hear it, and when you can come watch it. It's another interesting thing we're doing, and it's good fun. We've interviewed a lot of local bar and restaurant owners so far, and we're hoping to continue that.
No, every single day is a different day at a restaurant. Every single day you have no idea what's going to happen. But I want to thank all of our customers.
Vortex fans are the best.
They are the best.
They've had our back for 23 years. They continue to have our back, and we couldn't have done this without them.
#OurAtlanta.